This episode is brought to you by
Ready to secure your financial future? Whether retirement is near or far, it's time to take control. Talk to W. Marcus Hinn, a certified financial planner professional specializing in retirement investing and planning. Mark's goal is to help clients find peace of mind by creating customized strategies to help grow your wealth and protect investments. He'll tailor a plan to fit your unique goals, lifestyle, and dreams. Start today. Reach out to Mark and start your journey towards a confident, stress-free retirement. Find him at wmarcushen.com. That's WMARCUSHENN.com. It's your future. Let's plan it. Securities and advisory services offered through the Strategic Financial Alliance, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
They'll talk about anything and to anyone. They're straight out of the streets of Temple, Texas. It's Randomness with Heath and Josh.
All right, we're back. What's going on, Josh? How you doing?
Excellent. How are you?
You're smiling awfully big.
Because my weekend has started. So.
Oh, that's right. You're going a day. You're taking tomorrow off and heading down to old Jason Steffen's house.
Yeah.
Huh?
Barefoot Mardi Gras. So
nice.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm jealous that you're going, but I'm not jealous over the drive. That I can do without. But how long is it from Temple to there to North Padre?
It takes me 5 hours. I go the back route down 77, avoid the I-35, and I like to take my time. Just do a little country back road drive.
Right on.
All through all the early German towns and early Texas towns. So
right on. Well,
that's how I roll.
Hug old Jason and the family for me while you're there.
Will do.
But what else has been going on with you?
Man, I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
I had to take another chicken to the spa.
Oh, dang. Another chicken died?
Yeah.
Were you hungry or what happened?
This one, no. This is Clementine. She's the one that had the orange feathers.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So I
got sick?
Yeah. She just a few days acting like lethargic, not moving. And that was the same thing that I saw on Betty White. So I was like, okay, it's time.
Yeah, that sucks. But so now how many do you have? 4?
3.
Ooh, you're getting down.
I know.
You're gonna your egg limit, your egg production is gonna go down too, huh?
Well, they've been laying here lately after that last little cold snap. They've been all laying every day. So
right on. You gonna get more chickens, or you just
except for Clementine?
Once they all die, are you done?
I haven't decided yet. I don't know.
Get your backyard back because it's pretty barren.
I would like some grass.
Well,
I would like to touch grass.
You literally cannot touch grass in the backyard.
I can't. It's like a barren wasteland back there. It's like an episode of Fallout or something. I don't know.
Fallout.
Yeah.
That's funny. I wish I had a cool story, but I don't have any since we recorded yesterday. Nothing happened crazy.
You did. What did you show me? You got something in the mail.
Okay. So most of y'all know that I'm a big skateboard culture guy and whatnot. So I guess I should shout out my old friend Jeremy, Merch Cash.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. So so I collect tech decks. For those of you who don't know what tech decks are, they're small skateboards, and he sent me 2 today. A Hussoy and a Dogtown.
They're mint.
So
they're like,
yeah, dude, they're mint. He's like, they've been in my toolbox forever. And I was like, okay, they're going to be all beat up because merch is definitely hard on stuff. And man, they're like brand new. So I was pretty surprised. So thank you, Merch.
Yeah, super nice of him. That's cool.
So backstory real quick. The reason we call Jeremy Merch, I didn't know his name was Jeremy for years. So there was a band called Junior that I did a lot of stuff with back in the early 2000s, and that's kind of what led us to the Bowling for Soup and all that good stuff. And he was their merch guy for a long time before I came along, and they just always referred to him as Merch. And I was like, all right, that kid's name's Merch, man, whatever. And then one time somebody called him Jeremy. I was like, who's Jeremy? And he was like, oh, that's me. And I was like, what? I don't get it. Anyway, shout out to Merch.
What did they call you?
Heath Heathardson. And that's how they would say it, because they're from East Texas and Louisville. Yeah. I mean Louisville, Louisiana. Yeah. So yeah, that Heath Heathardson. And he even put on the address and stuff to me today, Heath Heathardson. So I hadn't heard that in a while. But when those guys call me or whatever, the first thing that comes out, Heathardson, what you doing, man?
Nice.
You know, that's just so. But they would always do that with people. Like they would be like Josh Joshinson or whoever. But Heath Heathardson works really good.
Yeah.
So that stuck. So it stuck. But anyway,
I love it.
That's my Heath Heathardson story.
All right.
But all right. So as usual, we have a guest, and man, we pondered on how to introduce this guy, and I think I'm just going to say the ostrich rider himself, Jason Westphal. What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Yeah, that'll work. That was not by design. It just happened.
Well, don't say anything yet. Let's get to it.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I had to break the ice with you and get you to smile there at the beginning so we can get going. But so we've known Jason. I've known Jason since Jason was. I'm trying to think. The first time I met you, it's kind of a funny story. So the guy who lived across the street from me my whole life, Corey Petrowski.
Yes.
One day, this kid on a motorcycle rolls up, and I'm like, "Who's this little kid This is a small kid on a motorcycle. What the hell is this all about?" Because I'm 2 years older than you and whatever. So I don't know. I was thinking it might have been my sophomore year or maybe my junior year. When did you start riding that little dirt bike around town?
Yeah. Well, knowing me, I probably wasn't legal age.
No, I know you weren't.
Yeah. So I think I was probably 14.
Okay.
So I might have been.
Okay. So I don't
know. What is it?
I would have been
what is that? Freshman?
I was going to say you were probably an 8th grade or a freshman.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who's this kid? And then, whatever. And me and Corey were always just outside. And that's the first time I ever met you. And I thought, man, that's kick ass. I want to have a little motorcycle and ride around in Temple. And,
well, it's the most random little weird memory. But do you remember being behind me and you were like, or no, were you in front of me? And you're like, bro, your light's on.
Oh, probably.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, it's a motorcycle. It has to be on. Bro.
Yeah.
But I'll just never forget that. Like, I swear, every time I started up my motorcycle, I'd be like, lights on, Heath.
But yeah, so that's how. I don't know. You and Josh, I know you, Josh, know each other now because you did some work over at his house. But did you guys know each other back in high school?
I think we did, Josh, and I don't remember how, but like your face, your name, everything's familiar.
I knew you lived up on Forest Trail, like at the far end of it, and I don't know, through different people. We all kind of know each other. Cross
somewhere
paths,
or another.
Yeah.
When did you graduate, Josh?
95.
Okay, and Heath, you were
94.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is, and then, so yeah, Corey was friends with you, and I'm sure that was probably a short-lived friendship because of Corey. But anyway,
yeah.
But that's how, and then I knew who your sister was too because she's a little bit older, so I knew Stephanie, and then we weren't friends or anything, but I knew who she was, just like same thing through other people or whatnot. So I've known you for a long time. We just weren't real, tight friends or anything, but. I've been kind of watching over Facebook over the last few years, and we've reconnected, and I've kind of watched some of the things that've gone by that you've done, and I'm like, man, this guy's doing all kinds of shit, So recently I was like, I'm gonna reach out to old Jason and see exactly what's all going on with that guy, and see
what did you uncover.
Yeah, and then he starts telling me some of this stuff, and I was like,
this will be interesting.
This is gonna work out perfect. So let's just start there.
Okay.
You're from Temple, all that good stuff. And I was going to ask you too before you start your story. I was telling my parents I hadn't talked to my mom and dad in a bit, and I was talking on the phone right before we started, and they were asking who was coming on, and I told them, and they were like, "What did his parents do?" So what did your mom and your dad do?
So yeah, my dad's very well known in the community. He was a financial advisor for Edward Jones.
Okay, that's what my dad thought. Okay.
Okay.
And
Yeah, and he retired maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. And then my mom, kind of well known in the community too. She taught aerobics at the summit for
okay.
like years and years.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah,
There must have been a nurse at school or somewhere with the last name Westphal, and my mom was like, "There was a nurse," and I was like, "I don't think that's as related to," but I don't know.
and if they spelled it like me, I'd be surprised.
Right? Yeah. Because it's
Yeah.
right on. Anyway, all right. So anyway, let's go back. So you graduate from high school in '96, right? '96.
Yeah.
So let's start there. For what happened after high school? Where'd you go?
Man, so like I'm just gonna preface this whole story with I hope we can fit it in. There's a lot. If we ever want to deep dive in anything, I could go hours on each subject. But I'm just gonna preface with the whole thing with like, man, I've lived a crazy life, done some crazy stuff, and I'm gonna say I never really had a plan. I just went. I just like whatever instincts, whatever like, hey, that sounds fun, that sounds cool. Like I would do it. And
Right
so
on.
it just led me on a crazy path. And I can't explain it any other way, but I never had a plan, so things just evolved.
Do you have a
Nice.
plan now? Do you have a plan now, or are you still just on that whatever plan? Because I am. I mean,
I'm gonna say I miss whatever. But
Okay.
now that being married and kids,
Yeah.
I got a plan.
okay,
I got a
that's fair.
plan.
That's fair.
But yeah, man, I graduated high school. I was very athletic. I went to TCU. I graduated honors high school. Like education, learning, all that stuff was no problem for me. I enjoyed it. Never studied a day in my life. I think my grade point average was like 98.6. And the funny thing about the award I got when I graduated high school, I got the award, was never keeping track. I never missed one day of school in 4 years.
Wow.
Can you believe that?
That's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. I don't mind education. I always told people like my dream life would be, I'm self-sufficient, don't need any money, and I'd go to college for the rest of my life.
I would do that.
Just to learn, like see what, open the mind. But so anyways, I went to TCU, had good grades, got in there, and man, I'll just touch on the TCU experience as I was like a shark among minnows.
Okay.
That's the best way I can say it. So like to me, college was like, okay, I'm in college. I'm going to date as many girls as I can.
Oh, it was a target-rich environment, basically. Is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Lots of minnows, And so I just I joined a fraternity. I would literally take a different girl to every dance, what did you call it on Thursday? The mixers or whatever.
Yeah, mixers.
Like different girl every week, every party, different girl. And I mean, not that I was like a dog or anything. I wouldn't, but it was just different girl, all different sororities. So after, let me think, I think it was middle of my sophomore year, I called this chick up. I'm like, hey, you want to go to this dance, whatever. And she's like, oh, no, I can't. And I was, what? Like, why? And she said, no. She was like, I was told, like everybody in all the sororities have been told not to date you. Like, don't go out.
You got blacklisted.
Yeah, I got blacklisted. And so and now let's take, grain of salt, the kind of girls that are TCU. They're little uppity, spoiled, they're
Right.
pretty proud of themselves, perhaps, and I didn't factor any of that in. I came from little old Temple, Texas,
Right.
So I get blacklisted. And I remember, like, first thing I did, I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, we got problems. He's like, what's going on? I was like, I got to leave TCU. He's like, what? Why would you do that? It's a great school, blah, blah. It's a ton of money. Like, come on. And I'm like, I got blacklisted, Dad. None of the chicks will date me. And he's like, oh, yeah. Yeah. And he's just like, oh, yeah, you got to get out of there. And so left TCU just like that at the end of that sophomore year. Wasn't sure, like, where I was going to go to college. So I ended up just deciding I think maybe I had $2,000 at most in my checking account, and I was like, I'm just going to hit the road. So I'm just going to drive.
Wow.
So yeah, it was back in the day, the little Nissan 4x4 truck with like the extended cab, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So that's what I had. And I had like $2,000, packed up everything. I mean, basically it was just clothes and like, I don't know, cooking stuff in case I had to camp somewhere, you know? And I ended up deciding, well, I'll go pick up my best friend. So I had a friend that when I was younger, I grew up in Kansas till I was like 10 years old, and then went to Texas. But when I was in Kansas, this was like my childhood best friend. We would keep in touch. We'd visit each other maybe once a year, you know, for all these years. And so when I decided to like take a break, what do you call it nowadays? A gap. I had a gap in college.
Yeah.
For that gap, I called him. I'm like, man, are you going to school? Like, what's going on? He was like, no, I'm like kind of not in, you know, I was in school and then kind of not. So I was like, all right, dude, I'm going to pick you up and let's just go. He's like, all right. So I picked him up and we decided the cheapest way to like travel and tour the country would be going to like relatives' houses so we could stay for free.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what we ended up doing. And so most of my family is from Colorado. I was born in Lamar, Colorado, which is like not Colorado. It's a shit place. Don't think like mountains and beauty. It's more like cow town, like stockyards and fast food. That's what it is. But yeah, it's in the worst part of the state. So, but anyway, so my family, I had family in Denver, Colorado, Colorado Springs. My granddad at the time was living in Springfield, Colorado, which is like southeast. He did very well for himself. I became an entrepreneur later on. He was an entrepreneur and did very well for himself, owned gas stations, a car auction. I can't remember what else. But anyways, he had a ranch out there. He owned a mountain range. So he was like the first stop. We stayed at his mountain range, and I'll never forget. So he's one of these guys, you know, he'll wake up at 5 a.m. and it's vodka and orange juice. 5 a.m.
Yikes.
Yeah, man.
Screwdriver.
But he was just hardcore, dude, like that old school. I guess he was a baby boomer or whatever, but old school, like he woke us up, I think it's 7 a.m. He just couldn't stand it that we were still asleep, you know? And I told him where we needed to be the next day. So he woke me up and he said, do you realize what time it is where you're supposed to go? Yeah, so he like factored in the time change and everything. And he basically just, and decided I'm already late.
Yeah, you're late already.
Yeah, so I'm like, geez. But anyway, so we traveled, we stayed with the relatives, and that way it was going pretty good. And then we start running out of money. So I think we were somewhere in Kansas because I picked him up in Lawrence, Kansas. So I think we were somewhere in Kansas, maybe headed back to maybe to Lawrence. I can't remember. And we were both interested in film and film production. So we see this job ad, and like every little coffee stop, you know, everywhere we went, we'd look in the job ads and we try to find some kind of cool gig or something, you know? And so we're in this coffee shop, we see this ad, and looking back, it didn't have anything to do with what the job was. But it said production company looking for staff for events. So I'm like, okay, like worst case, I'm going to be a roadie, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you know, I'll put up some stuff. We'll do the, you know, whatever. Well, so I show up for the interview and I'm driving further and further out into the country, further and further. And I see animal farm signs. I'm like, I don't know what this is. So we get there and it is an animal farm, traveling animal farm. And basically they piggyback with circus events and like state shows. And they go to these things and they're like the people that you might see doing the camel ride, the elephant ride. And now here we come to the juice. We did ostrich races, both bareback and behind chariots. And then we also raced, and we raced camels bareback.
What?
Yeah.
But y'all traveled, did this like kind of like a circus, or in that area and people just came there?
No. So their whole gig was traveling.
Wow.
Yeah. So I drove, and mind you, man, I'm like,
You were a camel jockey.
Yes, yes. That's what like my friends and family. Yeah, that's how they bust my balls. But I was like, dude, I don't think I was even legal to drink. I think I was maybe 2021. And I was driving Rapid Richie. That's what my truck was called. And that was a big ass dually truck. And I was pulling the exotic animals. So we had African turtles. We had muntjacks, if you know what those are. We had kangaroos, all kinds of exotic birds and stuff. But so I was in Rapid Richie. We had those, and then the other trucks. One truck would have the camels, another the ostriches. We had zebras. I got a whole story on the fucking zebras. I'm not a fan of zebras, dude. I'm not a fan of zebras. I'm not a fan of ostriches. But like literally, one of the best animals on the planet is a camel. Camels
Really?
they're amazing animals, dude. Like I fell in love with them. So I ended up signing on with this deal. I'm like, all right, we'll give it a shot, And it was my buddy was still with me.
Okay.
So we're doing it together. We lived in the bunkhouse. Bunkhouse was like, I want to say it was a trailer. I want to say like it was bunk beds, 2, 4, 6, 8. It was at least 8 people, maybe 10. I can't remember. And it was all, almost prison style bunk bed. I mean, the ceiling's like, it's right in front of your face.
Right in front of you.
Yeah. But we didn't sleep much. We worked hard and drank hard and woke up and did it again. That was the life. Like we had a joke. We had one guy, we call him the cocaine cowboy. It's like before I knew what meth was. I think the dude was a meth addict,
Yeah.
I mean, he would just drive for days. He'd work for days, and we were all like, but then we had, let's see, where was I going here? Oh yeah, the camels, man. So working with the camels was absolutely the best. And I tell people a camel is like a 600 to 800 pound dog. So I would compare them to a dog among any other species. They are unlike horses. You don't have to train a camel to pain. So like a horse, they got the bit in their mouth, or you're whipping them or you're spurring them, something like that. Freddie was my camel. Freddie was my boy. He was the only male. So we had a bunch of females. Eve was my favorite female. I taught her how to kiss me. So yeah, they're just like dogs. You can teach them to shake, kiss, like everything.
That's funny.
Yeah, Freddie was my boy, man. And so you don't train him with pain. You train him with kind of like reward, love, and affection, just like a dog. And they can be trained to words. So I could tell Freddie, like if he was standing up eating or something, I could walk up to him. I'd be like, Freddie, sit down. And
They do that slow down.
Yeah, they do that thing, And then I could get on top of him and I'd be like, all right, buddy, get up. And he'd stand up and he'd just stand there. And I'd say, all right, buddy, walk. And then he'd go. And I could say, stop. Yeah, I could say, stop. Like it was so awesome. So let's get to the races. The races are the fun part. So yeah, we go to the state fairs. It was mainly the state fairs that we did the races. And the most memorable one, so our route that we traveled, we would go from like central Kansas, where kind of base camp Animal Farm was, and then we would go west as far as to California, and in between we'd stop at like any fair festival that we could, and the same thing on the way back. So one of the biggest ones we stopped at was in Arizona, and all right. Let me see if I can remember. You guys got to help me remember. Do you remember that movie? God, who's the black singer that got all cracked out, was married to Bobby Brown?
Whitney Houston?
Yes. Okay. Whitney Houston. There was a movie. I cannot remember what it's called, but our ostriches in our race is in that movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the background. Yeah, that's a little claim to fame.
Cameo.
I can't remember what it's called. It might come to me.
It's not The Bodyguard, is it?
No, it's like.
I was trying to figure out where ostriches were in The Bodyguard.
No, it's like. Man, if I looked at her filmography, I could pick it out. But anyways, it was at Arizona. That was like the biggest one that we did, and yeah, I guess we were in the background of that movie. But so Arizona, we did the circle track. So it's just it's one loop around, and we would set up like full on bullpens. So like they hit the gates open, and you go.
Off you
And
go.
so yeah, so we raced ostriches bareback and with chariots. And I would have the whole like Roman thing, dude. I had like the feathered like helmet deal, yeah, and like some whatever. And then we also raced. When we raced the camels, this is like so not woke and shit. When we raced the camels, we were dressed like sheiks. So I would have like the thing on my head, yeah, and I'm in like full fucking like.
It's just like Aladdin, right? Right.
Yes, yeah, that's what it was kind of like, and
Were
we go with
people
it.
betting on the races, or it was just like to watch it, or
Okay, so in Arizona, yes, someone came up to me and they said, we're betting on this. Like, what's going on? And so I didn't.
wow.
Yeah, and I didn't say nothing. But Freddie, I was Freddie's handler, so Freddie always won, and it's because he's the only bull. So the females just they'll run. They love to run, and like don't get me wrong, because some people would say, is this mean and blah blah. That was a big deal, PETA or whatever,
Yeah, PETA. Yeah.
Yeah, PETA, and I'd say like, no, dude, like they love it. When you get in those gates with Freddie, I'm right on top of him, man. He's an 800-pound animal. My head's probably 9-10 feet off the ground, because he's so tall,
Right.
and just it's so big. And so when we get in the gate, I don't want to sound stupid, but it's like he gets so excited, and he's such a huge animal, and just think of like the girth of his throat. He lets out this like monstrous like it's like this like I mean he's so pumped, like he wants to go.
He's revving up, man.
Yeah, dude, he loves it. And as soon as that gate opens, man, he'll go. And camels, they run different. They don't run like a horse,
Right.
So yeah, horses, I believe mid stride, I think they're totally off the ground at one point.
Yeah, kind of like a dog.
Yeah, so it's real smooth. A camel always has 1 foot on the ground. So you're loping.
It's a clumpity.
Yeah, it's like a clumpity thing. So they can't get real fast, but they get about like 20, 25 miles per hour.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's pretty going. Yeah,
at that height.
Yeah, and at that height, it feels crazy. So that's the good race. Now we'll get into the ostriches. So I just told you how much I love camels. I am 100% opposite with ostrich. They're like the worst fucking animal on the planet. They're stupid as all get out. So you got basically a 300 or 400 pound animal with the brain the size of like an acorn.
Right. Yeah.
And they're just dumber than hell. So like if you got an earring, they're gonna bite your ear.
Yeah. They're so awkward.
Yeah, and their bite's nasty, dude. It's not a good bite. Like it's all bone, I had several do the mating dance in front of me. Like they get down, they do this crazy, yeah. And it's just, I'm grossed out. And then always, they're basically a raptor, right? So their hooves or whatever the hell you call them is like this.
They're talons.
They're talons, and so they are only able to go forward. They can't kick backwards. They don't have a ball socket joint, so they can't go sideways. So it's only forward. So when you move an ostrich around, you bear hug him from the side. So as long as you're bear hugging him from the side and you use your weight, I was probably 180 pounds then. That's enough weight to kind of just will them where they, where you want them to go. And they're just so stupid. Like, hey, that's hard. I'll go this way, They're just awful animals. But if you get in front of them, they will absolutely, that's their whole thing. And their stories, I looked it up after that whole adventure because people were like, dude, you're in danger. I'm like, no, it's fine. Like I looked it up and like several people have gotten gutted by
I'm sure. Yeah. Okay, I have to ask you though, how much were y'all getting paid to do this? Do you remember?
Oh, dude.
I'm sure it was nothing.
No, it was nothing. And of course there wasn't insurance,
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And we'll get to that. But I want to say, man, it was room and board, right? my coffin bunk. Yeah. And 3 meals a day. I want to say I bet it was 600 every 2 weeks.
Well, that's more than what I thought it would be, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember. But I remember why I quit, and we'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
That was because of a zebra. But so racing these ostriches, dude, so that's where it got really like hairy. So an ostrich is so stupid. I was 180 pounds. You're really not supposed to ride them bareback if you're above like 165. But I was 180, and so that's kind of why I won most of the races, because I was heavy enough to where I could actually kind of steer them with my body. Yeah, I can maneuver with my body weight. But here's how dumb ostriches are. So you never know if you're on the ostrich that will just run straight into the wall. Yeah, they're that stupid. So I was on one. I was in a chariot. So an ostrich, I can't remember the stats. It's been a long time, man. I think they can run, I don't know, what is it, 30, 40 miles per hour? I don't know.
Sounds right.
They're pretty fast. With me on top of them, probably half that. Me in a chariot, I think we're getting to 30, 40 miles an hour, you know? So we come out of the gate, and this is how stupid they are, and this is how retarded it is. So I got my freaking roaming thing on. I got the cape. And so guess how you steer them? When you're in a chariot with an ostrich, you steer it with a broomstick. A broomstick. So if you put the broomstick on his right side, he flinches and goes left.
Goes the other way.
Yeah. But remember, and I try to tell people, I'm like, remember, this is a two-legged creature. So it can carve. It can turn on a dime. Right? So you don't know if you're on the ostrich, it's going to make a gradual, nice little turn, or if he's going to yank and you go right into the wall.
Good Lord, man.
Yeah, so that's happened too. So I had one that he got freaked out. I guess I put the freaking broom beside his head before we cleared the wall, and instead of like gradually turning, he just darted. So we go into the wall, you're spinning, turning, and I mean, that's a metal chariot, dude. And I got like, I think it was like a construction helmet, you know, like not like a real helmet. I didn't have face, you know, like
plastic thing.
Yeah, no DOT registered thing here, you know? Yeah, just some plastic shit with like the feathers on it.
Spray painted gold.
Yes. So I rolled that chariot, and then I had one race where the ostrich, for whatever reason, ignored the broom and just got freaked out and just ran. And I'm on a chariot, so we probably went 30, 40 miles per hour right into the wall. He didn't make the turn at all. He just rammed right into it. Yeah. So they're one of my least favorite animals ever.
Okay.
I tell people they're strong and they're stupid, and that's a terrible combination.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Did they lay eggs?
Not that I know of, dude. I think we had a lot of males because I saw their shit come out, you know? You don't even want to know what that looks like. It's
you were probably having it for breakfast, but they didn't tell you that, right?
Oh, God. Probably so.
We've got plenty of eggs for breakfast, y'all.
No.
Emma Page Photography is all about authentic moments, captured beautifully without breaking the bank. From portraits to family shoots to life's biggest milestones, Emma brings energy, creativity, and heart to every session. Affordable, genuine, full of life. That's Emma Page Photography. To book a session today, follow Emma on Instagram using the handle @EmmaPagePhotography. Let's create something special.
No, man. So what ended the whole circus kind of thing? Oh shit! Here, if we still got, we got a little bit of time, right?
Yeah. Tell us about the zebras.
So, yeah, look, I'll get to the zebra in a second. You guys got to hear about Barbara the elephant.
All right.
So this is a good one, dude. So like everything's ironic in this story. So when I'm traveling with the animal farm or whatever, and we did the pig races. We did the petting zoo, we did the camel ride, and the elephant ride. So the elephant ride is how I got to meet Barbara. Barbara was, I think she's a 5-year-old female, super smart. So an elephant has the intelligence of about a 4-year-old child.
Okay.
So they can learn a lot of words, a lot of stuff. She was very smart, smarter than I thought, and we'll get to that. So I'm supposed to give rides to her, or give rides with her. So I meet her trainer and owner, Mike. Now, wouldn't you know, Mike's a midget.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's got the biggest animal, and
That's
he's
definitely a little ironic. Okay.
yeah, I know, right? But Mike was like the coolest dude. So I'm like, dude, so we're drinking every night during all this stuff. So we're drinking, and we got Mike the midget with us, and I'm like, bro, like, tell me all about the elephant, man. Like, what's that like? And so I don't know if like viewers know. I don't know if this is common knowledge, but to have an elephant and train one, you have to raise it from infant to at least 1 year old. And when I say raise it, I mean you have to sleep with it, wake up with it. Like, it's 24 hours a day.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a very huge like dedication. These people are very passionate about their animals, like it's like their children, and Mike loved Barbara, man. And he had Barbara, and I think we had 2 other elephants, but I cannot remember their names, because the story I'm about to tell you, you'll remember Barbara forever.
Okay.
So one day I'm doing the camel ride, and these are my camels. I'm familiar with them. Like, I think it was in Arizona. I got a picture in the paper. I was giving Eve a camel ride with a girl or whatever, and the newspaper came up, and I was like, give me a kiss. And they got those big lips, so she come out with those lips. Yeah, we got a picture in the newspaper of that. But so I'm doing the camel ride, and our circle kind of met right next to the circle of the elephant ride. And so every time me and Barbara would like kind of pass each other, I would go, elefante, elefante.
It's Spanish for the elephant. Yeah, right.
Yeah. And so like, I don't know why I would fuck with this huge animal, and I had no idea. I had no idea how smart she was. So like, probably about the 5th time, I'm like, elefante, elefante. And she goes, and I saw her eyes just widen up in the trunk. So I don't know if you know this, elephants can punch. And so, yeah, if you look it up, their punch is the equivalent of a super heavyweight boxer.
Okay.
And this is how it happens. So she looks at me, she gives me the crazy eye. She starts coming back. As she starts moving back, her trunk is rolling up. And now my eyes are like, oh shit, And so she does, and then all of a sudden, boom, she throws that trunk out, and it is just like a super heavyweight. It's like George Foreman to the freaking body. And I get sent in the air. And I was holding on that camel, the lead.
Elefante.
I was probably sent like a good, man. I want to exaggerate because it felt dramatic,
Right.
But dude, I was airborne. I was off my feet.
Slow motion.
Yeah, it was crazy. So that's my introduction to Barbara. So later on, again, we're drinking that night, whatever. The fair is the next day. The big, we're at the fair. It was the state fair in California, and they're going to do the, what do you call it? The freaking parade. They're going to do the parade. So they got like the queen. They're going to set up the queen. They put the queen on Barbara. Yeah, the elephant's going to carry the queen through the loud, noisy streets. So terrible planning. I don't know where Mike was, or maybe Mike wasn't thinking. I don't know. The trainer, right?
You just couldn't see him.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Maybe, he's behind her. So I don't know what was going on, but story I was told, because I wasn't there. I saw the aftermath and heard it. But I'm like in Carnival, right? Like all the, we're the little Carnival. That's the best way to explain it. So we're all like awnings and little campers, right?
With the tents, yeah.
We got little tents and fires and stuff.
Circus City.
Hanging out with like the fire
Circus
breather.
City.
Yeah, I'm hanging out with the fire breather, who's like all his teeth are gray because of the kerosene.
What?
Yeah, dude, and he's telling me fire breathing stories. But anyways, all right. So back to the elephant. So they put Barbara with Queen on top of her in front of the band.
Oh,
it's a bad idea. So the band starts. The roads were wet. So the band starts. The first thing that an elephant does, they sit. They'll just immediately just like sit. If they're not with their people and they're alone, they'll sit because the stampede's not going to help them, right? So the first reaction is like sit. So but this is what I hear. She spun around, clean on her back, and she sits. She sat on a little bobcat construction thing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I heard crunched it like a can. It freaks her out. She starts to run. She slips on the wet pavement.
Oh no.
Falls on her belly. Now, mind you, Queen is on top of her back. But by now, the Queen is like screaming. She's bawling her brains out. Like everybody's freaked out. Barbara gets back up, makes a beeline through Carnival. And now that's when I'm part of the story. She runs by. I'm like, what the fuck? Like what? And awnings are getting ripped off. Like, I mean,
it's like a movie.
Runaway elephant.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we're like, oh shit, we got to find Mike. We got to get Mike. So we start running to the trailer. Well, the direction she's going. We catch up to her, and all she did, bro, like this is how sweet. Just imagine she's 4 years old, right? Like she's a 4-year-old child in her mind. So if you're scared, like where do you go? You want to go home.
Right.
So she got scared, and all she did was she just beelined it to her trailer. And when she got to the trailer, Mike wasn't there. The trailer was locked. She has tusks. She had at least 18 inches. I mean, they were huge. Queen still on her back, screaming and crying. Yeah. And we watched this, dude. Barbara, her horns, dude, she boom, like just bashing the side of that trailer, putting holes in it. It was nuts.
Trying to get in.
Yeah. And then Mike finally walks up and she just stops and sits down. Yeah.
Wow.
Looking for
and so the papers run up, right? Like an hour later, the reporters, they want to know like what's going on, oh my God, what are you doing? And so Mike just told us like bullshit him, right? Every elephant looks the same, So Barbara was giving rides an hour later. Yeah. She just did all that. 1 hour later, yeah, and people were like, "This isn't the elephant, was it?" And I was like, "No."
Oh, we put that one away.
Yeah. She's in the trailer. She's on tranquilizers, But no, you're on her, baby.
That's funny.
So that was good times. Oh yeah. If we got any more time,
but real quick before you go into the next,
he's got to tell zebra stories. I'm like,
but I just wanted to say, like, knowing you growing up, and I knew you were very studious and all this thing. This is just freaking hilarious to me. That I would have never thought Jason Westphal would have been part of a circus and all this craziness. Anyway, go ahead. Yeah, tell the zebra story, man.
Okay, yeah, but I agree with you, man. Like, I don't know how this all happened.
Well, you were like a star soccer player, and
I know, man. I got drafted by the Olympic development team.
Yeah. No, I knew all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's another funny thing, man. Like, my coach called me and he was like, "Dude, heard you got drafted. Like, congratulations. Like, what'd you say? How'd it go?" And I told him no, and he's like, "What? Why would you do that?" And my answer was, "I don't know, man. I just want to go to college and be a normal kid."
Hey, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that.
My daughter's pissed that I said that. She was like, "Dad, we could be rich and we could be famous." I'm like, I don't know. But, okay, so zebras. So, unfortunately, zebras are, what do we do with them? Oh, yeah. They were so my owner, what was his name?
Just real quick, there's a reason why they're not domesticated to this day. So, we'll just keep that in mind.
Yes, and that's what So this zebra, of course, his name was Stripe, right? Not too inventive, but yeah, I know. So my owner was the only one that ever handled Stripe. And the cool thing about Stripe is when we would go to all these shows and stuff, like in between the races, like, a halftime show would be, he would bring Stripe out. And so one of the most impossible things to do with a zebra is have them lay down on command. Because in the wild, they never lay down unless they're in a pack and they feel safe. So their whole thing is be ready to just go. Huh. So he taught Stripe how to lay down on command. And that's a pretty huge thing, apparently. I almost remembered that Whitney Houston movie. Anyways, I did. God, I'm so close to it.
I looked some up. There's
if you say it, I'm gonna get
there
it.
was Cinderella. There was The Preacher's Wife, Waiting to Exhale.
That's it.
Waiting to exhale.
Waiting to Exhale.
That's it. Yeah,
Okay.
I believe that's it. Somewhere in there, we're like in the background.
Okay.
All right.
I believe
We'll
that's
look
it.
for 20-year-old Jason Westphal on an ostrich.
Yeah. Somewhere back there. So the Stripe was like the halftime show, and the owner was the only one that handled him, and that's a segue to what I'm about to get to. So they would go out, he'd do the little sit down thing and like, I don't know, prance around, do some dumb shit. But the coolest thing was that he would sit down on command. So he traveled with us just for that reason. I think the animal farm had several zebras, but I want to say Stripe is the only one that really traveled with us. So we, by law, when you're traveling with animals, by law, you have to pull over this was like 25 years ago, but I think it was like every 4 hours or 6 hours or something. I can't remember, but they have to have breaks. And so what we would do, my boss had several friends like along the route to California. We'd stop at like his buddy's ranches, or we'd stop at, like different people that he knew and stuff. And so we'd get out. And I mean, this could be 2 a.m. This could be 2 p.m. It was just all, because we would drive literally nonstop. It was 4-hour shifts. So we had 3 people in every truck. I would drive for 4. Somebody'd sleep in the back. Somebody'd be shotgun. They would drive for 4, and we'd just rotate.
Right.
And we just, so that's how we did it. But, so we stop at some random ass ranch, and my boss, for whatever reason, we're letting all the horses out, we're letting all the animals out, and my boss, for whatever reason, he comes over with the lead rope to Stripe. And he's like, hey, hold on to Stripe, and just, he'll be all right, just don't let go. Like if he flinches or something, just hold, don't let go. I'm like, okay. So he walks off, and man, I've told the story a couple times. And here we go. So I'm sitting there with Stripe, and I'm kind of like, I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous, like for sure. And a zebra's not as big as a horse, but what I learned is they kick harder than a horse per square inch. So a horse, maybe a hoof, like this big, and he hits you. Well, that's a lot of square inches. A zebra is like this. So when it hits you, it's rough, bro. It's rough. So I'm standing next to him, and maybe I have a little too much lead rope. I don't know, man. I got his lead rope. I'm about side to side with maybe his shoulder. We're probably shoulder to shoulder. And so he does this little like kind of like stomps.
Right.
And I just tense. And I swear to God, he could tell that I was scared, Yeah. So he decides to just bolt. So he bolts. So he starts running. And like all that I had in my mind was my boss was like, don't let go. And, mind you, dude, that zebra, this is, pre-inflation and stuff. That zebra was a $70,000 animal.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I'm thinking like, oh my God, there's a highway right there. You're like, he's running, like, what am I doing? I got to keep this dude safe, but like, I'm scared. So I just start digging in, I start digging in and try to slow him down. And so finally, like his head kind of starts, he starts slowing down, and that's when the pain came. He starts bucking. And like when his head started going down, I didn't want to fall down. So I let a little out of the lead rope.
Uh-huh.
And so now I'm like, I was shoulder to shoulder. Now I'm like shoulder and ass. Yeah. And so he starts kicking, dude. He starts kicking. And I take, it was 1, 2, 3, 4 on my shoulder. And then it was like 5 barely missed my bicep. And then the 6th one split open my thumb.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. And so I still had hold of it. And after the 7 hits, I finally let go. Never fell down, mind you. Never fell down. But so he runs off. I lean over. I just,
yeah.
try to get, yeah. I pulled down my shirt, dude, and like it was already purple, just perfect horseshoes. I mean,
Zebra
it
shoes.
almost looked like a tattoo, Like it was bam, like everywhere. Thumb was split open and bleeding. And so like one of the crew, he runs over, he's like, "Why didn't you let go?" And like my first response was, "Because I was told not to," like that's all I had. That's all I had. But dude, that thing kicked my ass. And that is what led to the end of it. So we get back to home base, Animal Farm, and they tell me to unload Stripe. And I'm like, "I'm out.
I'm done.
Like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good." And that ended the whole deal. And then I ended up going to North Texas. So I went back to college.
Oh, you went to UNT. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I finally ended up graduating. So there was enough fish there for me to fit in.
Well, we are
and a whole nother women's university on the other side of town, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
I live 10 minutes from there, so I live.
Nice.
Yeah. But we are getting down to time, but I still wanted to hear a couple other things. Touch on the Hollywood thing. Like, what did you do in Hollywood? Like, how did you get there, and what? Maybe just something real quick.
Okay, yes. Well, so when I went back to school in North Texas, I went for video and film production.
Okay.
Like growing up, probably like the funnest thing me and my dad ever did was motorcycles and movies.
Okay.
And so we always shared that, and I think it always had like warm place in my heart, but always been passionate about film. So we went to do that. My senior year, last semester, totally lucked out. I got an internship on a full feature movie in Dallas. And the guy still directs today. I saw one of his movies on Fandango or whatever. That guy, Johnny Strong? I think that's his name. Have you heard of that
familiar?
Actor? It's so cheesy, but he's like a step below Van Damme,
Okay.
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 He's B, Van Damme's B. This guy's like B minus.
Yeah. Okay.
And like he's only in like rip off like Marine movies. He's always a Marine.
Bunch of.
But anyways, yeah. But what is his name? William. I forget his name. But I was happy to see he's still directing, and so I guess I was in one of his first full feature films in Dallas. And how that worked was it was just an internship. I was supposed to be a production assistant, freaking hold a light, stop traffic, whatever. So I ended up, we were on set. It was the middle of the summer in Texas, so it's hot. The lead actor had to do a scene. It was kind of in an office. And when you're inside shooting a picture, you got to turn off the air conditioner because the sound,
Yeah. I do that here. I have to turn off the AC for the podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. So it'll click on and ruin the soundtrack, right? So they turn off the AC, and the main character, he was supposed to be in full on SWAT gear. So like full on like helmet, mask, everything. And he was just like, I guess he was anxiety. Hey, Charlie.
What's up, punk?
Yeah, that's Charlie. So the lead actor refused to be in the full gear. He just couldn't do it, anxiety, whatever, And so the director literally just like looks at me, and I think I was like holding a light or something. And he just looks me up and down. And I've always been pretty athletic. And so I happen to have like the same kind of looking physique or whatever. And the director just said, "Hey, you want to do this?" It's like, yes.
As a matter of fact, I do.
Yes. So I got full SWAT geared up. And the scene was I set up a video camera because this is like a really bad hitman guy, and he's going to record himself doing a hit. So he sets up the camera. I set up the camera in the hallway, like I check it, and then walk down the hallway, and I have a bat. Yeah, it was a bat. I can't remember. Yeah, it was just a bat. I can't remember. I thought I fired shots, but I did not. So I go down the hallway. I turn left into the room. I swing, and like all you do is just hear it, right? You just hear the stuff, and I got, you maybe see. I think I come out with the bat is bloody. I walk up to the camera and then like turn it off. And so that little scene made me a body double. The production manager of that film, when that wrapped, he moved to Hollywood, and we both were UNT. He was a UNT graduate. I was about to graduate, So he's like, dude, like, you got a credit in that film. Like, I'm going to get gigs. I could probably get you on these other productions. So like, move out there. Let's do it, So I'm like, all right. So then I moved out to Hollywood, and it was nuts, man. I got shot a lot. I got thrown through windows. So like one cool thing, I worked with one of the Power Rangers.
Oh yeah.
Like I didn't know. Did you guys know those guys are like legit martial artists?
Oh yeah, for real.
Okay, yeah. I had no idea. I thought that was all whatever, like Matrix shit. I didn't know. I ended up working with one of the Power Rangers, and I'll never forget. It was the first time that I got thrown in a movie, and my whole deal was I'm like supposed to come at him with a knife, and like I'm running at him like stupid style, and he throws me over the couch. That's all it is. And we did 3 takes, and what was amazing was there was obviously padding on the other side of the couch. But what was amazing is he threw me in a manner that I didn't even have to try to land right.
Huh.
Like, he's so good, he didn't just throw me, he helped me land it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So he did the first take, and I had no idea what to expect, no nothing. I just done a lot of dumb stuff, like growing up, motorcycle. I grew up on Lake Belton,
Yeah.
So just always doing like, crazy stuff. And so
Jumping off cliffs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
But he's like, are you okay to get thrown? I'm like, yeah, man, let's do it. So I ran at him. He threw me the first time. And then like the true professionals, man, he ran over there. He was like, are you okay? Like, everything all good? I'm like, yeah, man, like that was crazy. That was awesome, And he was like, did you land okay? Like, I could do it better. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, that was good to me. And he's like, and so he told the director, William, he's like, let's do one more. So we did another take, and I swear to God, it was better. I liked it better, And I think we did one more take just to make sure we were good. But I just never forget, like, being, because I don't know how to fight. Like, I mean, I have no background at all. And I just remember being aware that this man could like completely dominate me if he wanted to.
Right.
It was just crazy, dude. So it was cool to meet him. On one set, I was there with the husband of Bruce Lee's, was it niece? I don't know, but they're in that world of action, stunt stuff. Like,
Right.
You cross a lot of like people that are kind of intertwined with all that stuff, and it was pretty cool, man. It was cool.
How long did you do that?
So that I probably did that about 2 years out in Cali. And then in between gigs, that would take us to our next story. But in between gigs, I needed a job. I couldn't find work for like, God, I went maybe a month or 2 without any work. So I was like, all right, I got to get a job. So I looked in the paper. I see a job to work at a gym, like local gym, like whatever. And I'm like, my dad owned a gym when I was little. Like, all right, I'll go work at this gym. And I get there, and as I'm like in the interview, I see like one dude that I see in all the magazines, and then like another dude that I see in all the magazines. And come to find out, it was owned by a pro bodybuilder by the name of Milos Sharchev. And he was the one that basically invented how to use insulin to get big. Yeah. And so my job there led to a whole crazy thing of bodybuilding and learning about all that. And I'll leave you with this because maybe that'll be our next subject someday. Just a total fish out of water story, right? Like, I'm coming from Little Temple, Texas. I've been in gyms and stuff, but like we didn't have the internet, so we didn't know anything. Like, I didn't know what steroids were. Like, I didn't know any of that stuff. So I see all these huge dudes that I see in the magazines and stuff. I'm like, yes, like I want to work here. This is cool,
Right.
So I get the job. One of the first things I do, like I go to the bathroom, and on the wall is a sign that says no injections on premises.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, so this is what it is. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And then that started a whole new adventure.
Wow. What did your parents and your family think about when you're doing all this crazy stuff? I mean, were they supportive, or just like, Jason, you're nuts, or what did they do?
So like I'm kind of mama's boy, right? So I pretty much communicated like my mom through all of it and just would tell her all the adventures and like all the stories. And she's super non-judgmental, and God bless her. Like she just loves me like unconditionally. And she's one of those, like, I always prayed you'd go back to college, but never any pressure or nothing,
Right.
She always had faith in me. But my dad, on the other hand, like, I swear, dude, to this day, he just doesn't want to hear any of it. Yeah.
Well,
He just doesn't want to hear any of it.
well, let's see if he listens. He's going to hear some of it.
Yeah.
I know, man. I wish he would, because I've told him, I was like, Dad, someday we just got to like sit down, at a fire or something like at the lake house, and I just got to tell you all this stuff. Like, I get nothing back,
That's fair. All right. Real quick too, before we let you go, we do want to talk about what you do now, because it's part of the community. So explain what you do now and plug the crap out of it, man. Go.
Okay, sure. So I've been an entrepreneur for like 15 years. One of my businesses, I had one of the first like restaurant delivery services, like Uber Eats, DoorDash, whatever. And it was very successful, but I worked from my couch. So I was so sedentary. So I don't know. I stumbled upon like a YouTube video of this cute couple, and they were doing junk removal. And it just like, my wife's cute, plug. And so I was like, I showed her the videos. I was like, man, this would be too easy. Like, I got a truck, let's get a trailer and we can do this. And this guy, he was out in Sonoma, California. So like, they're killing it, because hindsight, bro. I didn't think about it, but we have bulk pickup here. Yeah. I didn't think about it. So that dude, just like, they can wake up in the middle, they wake up and just go drive around, and it's curbside. They are the curbside,
right?
So they're just making but of course they still do big jobs and stuff. And so that's what we ended up doing is, man, we've done hoarder jobs, junk removal, but we've done everything from refrigerators, appliances, to, like I said, hoarder houses and stuff.
To Josh's house.
Yeah. But it's a cool service, dude. Like, I love it because it's completely positive. Like, it's always positive, right, Josh? Like,
yeah.
Just to like it's gone. It's nice. It's always good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just one of the most positive jobs. Like, people are always happy, and I've always been physical and in shape and stuff. So it's a good way for me to just get off the couch. Is like really why I started it. But now I manage a Anytime Fitness in Temple.
Okay.
And so I'm doing that, and that's maybe next time we talk. The whole bodybuilding venture kind of led me that way.
Yeah, let's do that. But tell us.
And the can cleaners, real quick. You're still doing that?
Man, I decided to shut it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna manage it, and oversee it, but I got too much going on. I'd rather do. Yeah, the big problem with it was the route. So like, because I really had to decide, like, what am I going to keep doing, the junk removal or the can cleaning? And junk removal, bro, like, I can make good money like in an hour, whereas to make that same money with the can cleaning, I got to be out there for 3, 4, 5 hours.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, sure.
We'll plug your junk removal company. How do we find you?
RhinoJunkHaul.com. Find us on Facebook too, Rhino Junk Haul, and we're on Instagram as well. But you can get on the website, message directly, or just call, send a text, and we can usually do stuff same day, definitely by weekend, but oftentimes same day.
Right on.
I recommend it.
Yeah. Josh knows for sure how it works. He's had to do it.
I used your services.
It's just Josh, you got to help him get some of the stuff that's on the inside of the house.
Yeah, all I saw was garage.
Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out.
Garage and
backyard
backyard
always
stuff.
podcast.com to check everything out. Well, Jason, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. There was some wild stories. And
We're going.
Like I said, it's like I've known you since you were a kid, and we
I
were
know.
kids, I should say, and I would have never in 100 years thought that that's what you're doing, but at the same time, that's so freaking cool that you did, because you just said, screw it, I'm just going to go do this.
Yeah,
And
I
so,
admire
so many
that.
people don't, they do what's expected of them instead. So
Yeah.
but and I think it's really cool that your mom, back, but that's not mom.
God,